Hello again and welcome back. In this series of videos on the Mr. Rags macro keyer that you built yourself, we've been looking at the settings, how you configure the keyer to do the things that you want and need it to do. In this final video, we're going to take a look at the many modes that you can turn on and off, even while you're in a QSO, that will help you make that QSO more enjoyable. So, stick around. I think you'll enjoy this. Mr. Rags is a keyer that you can build yourself. It's all simple, easy to put together, through-hole construction, comes with a fully programmed microcontroller chip to do all the tricks and things that you would want to do with your Mr. Rags keyer. We're going to use the function key to select the various modes that we want to use. So let's walk through the patterns for now. We'll begin with a single beep and the different things we can do with a single beep. Of course, if we're in CQ mode, you press the function key simply once and it starts sending CQ for you. However, one beep in QSO mode sends the call sign IDs. We use two beeps to queue up a macro. All we have to do then is send the first letter and off it goes. We can use two beeps while we're recording a macro to insert a space. Three beeps tells Mr. Rags that we're going to record our contact's call sign. One more beep saves it in memory. While recording and editing your soft macros, 3 beeps is a backspace. And speaking of correcting your errors, what if you make a mistake while you're recording your contact's call sign? Watch how we handle that with 3 beeps. When we make an error while sending CW, traditionally we send a series of dits and then repeat the word again from the beginning. Mr. Rags can do that for us. Watch that again. When I see that I've made an error, I hold the function key down for 3 beeps. Mr. Rags backspace the error, sends a series of dits, resends the call sign up to the X, and I add the correct letter at the end. We can save the contact's name with 4 beeps, or do it smoothly with the V macro. 4 beeps while editing macros allows you to insert a token. 5 beeps will put us into QRS mode. QRS means send slower. Right now, we're sending at 18 words per minute. If conditions are rough or the other station wants us to slow down, all we have to do is enter 5 beeps, and Mr. Rags will automatically slow down to 80% of the set speed. So now we're only going 14 words per minute. When you want to go back up in speed, 5 more beeps, and we're back to the original speed again. And as you can see, we're back to 18 words per minute. If you need to adjust your speed, hold the function key down for 6 beeps. Then you'll be able to adjust your speed with the paddles on your keyer. A single beep will set the speed. You will actually be transmitting the letter V over the air while you do this, so your contact will know you haven't really disappeared and will understand that you are making adjustments. Seven beeps toggles transmit OK on and off, so you can practice and know that you're not going to actually key your transmitter. Generally, though, there's a button on our transceiver called break-in that does the same thing, so this is probably not necessary. 8 beeps will key your transmitter continuously for tuning purposes. Hold the function key down to stop the tuning and turn off the transmitter. Again, there's a button on your radio that is probably a better choice to do the same thing. When I designed this project, I was pretty much thinking of using it for rag chews, and that's where it gets its name, Mr. Rags. It's probably not the choice that you would want for contesting. Certainly, serious contesters have much better choices, computer software that they can use to facilitate their hobby and make contesting much easier. But I do like to contest. My approach to contesting is basically a search and pounce technique. I tune around listening for people who are calling CQ, and then I try to work them, especially when I'm running QRP, say 5 watts or 10 watts. Calling CQ isn't going to do you a lot of good in the middle of a contest. But if you find someone else calling CQ and you're willing to fight your way through a pileup, they will eventually work you. They like to dig into the mud and pull in those weak stations. When I'm doing contesting, it's pretty simple. You need to be able to send your call sign, and you need to be able to send an exchange. I've created a special routine in Mr. Rags that I call pileup mode, and it does just that. It sends my call sign, and it says the exchange. In order to set this up, though, we'll need to get into CQ mode, and then we're going to go into configuration. In order to make this work, your exchange has to be in the number 1 slot of your user macros. So let's do that now. To demonstrate the next feature, we're going to need to switch out of QSO mode and back into CQ mode. To do that, I'll use 3 beeps as if I want to enter a call sign, and then without entering a call sign, give it 1 more beep and it will clear the QSO mode. Now 10 beeps to go back into the configuration mode. Next, I'll select user macros with 2 beeps. We're going to redefine our first macro. 2 beeps will give us a new macro. Now I'll key in the text of exchange. 2 beeps for a space. We'll repeat the signal report. Another 2 beeps for another space. And my state. Finally, 1 beep to store it. I'll use a single beep to restart Mr. Rags. Now, to put us into pileup mode, I'll need to give it 9 beeps. Okay, now a single beep sends just my call sign. Hopefully, that DX station is going to hear me out of the pileup. If not, I do it again. When he finally comes back to me, I use 2 beeps to send the exchange. During a CQDX contest a few years ago, I made a significant discovery about working stations in a pileup. I was trying to answer a station in Finland, and that station came back to me over and over again asking me to repeat my call sign. He just wasn't getting it perfectly. So I reached over and grabbed my straight key and sent my call sign slower, and instantly he got it. So I came up with the idea of building the QRS feature into the pileup mode. So now, if a station has to ask me a 3rd time to repeat my call sign, instead of giving it 1 beep, I give him 3. Compare the speeds. And of course, 9 beeps again will toggle pileup mode off and put you back into CQ mode. That pretty much winds up a complete overview of the many features available to you on the Mr. Rags Macro Keyer. Some of those features may be missing from the version of the software that you are running. Maybe you've noticed that there's a more recent version date on the keyer that I was using in this video series. For most of you, the only thing your version will be missing will be the repeating CQ mode that we were able to set up with the paddles on our keyer. If you have an earlier version of Mr. Rags and think you would like to upgrade to a newer version of the firmware, just email me at the address you see here on the screen. We'll work out a plan that works good for both of us. I'd like to remind you that you too can build your own Mr. Rags Macro Keyer. It's a fun and easy kit to put together. It's all through-hole construction. You can do it in an evening. If you'd like to find out more about how to do that, point your phone at this QR code up here or click on the link below in the description. We'll see you soon. And hey, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.